Welcome to the Control Tower. Think of me as your elite Cambridge Exam Tower director, here to guide you through what is undoubtedly the most intense airspace in your academic career. If you're preparing for the Cambridge Arabic 9680 AS and A-level exams, you already know there's one massive, unavoidable storm front standing between you and a top-tier grade. We're talking about Passage 1, vocabulary recognition and grammatical manipulation. Right now, on our radar grid, this paper is flashing as an incoming heavy aircraft. It's a high-tariff, high-stakes question that appears in every single examination series. The time pressure is extreme, and the margin for error is razor-thin. Now, in my tower, I typically see two types of students, or as I like to call them, rookie radar operators. First, we have Router Alex. Alex gets completely bogged down in minor grammatical details, throwing their exam timing into an infinite holding pattern, just circling and circling a single vocabulary word while the clock bleeds out. Then we have Router Sam. Sam panics, clears arguments for landing way too fast, and just slaps down translations without verifying the structural safety regulations of the grammar. Both approaches end in disaster. Today, we are going to run a full air traffic control emergency simulation to teach you how to manage this extreme time pressure, prioritize high-yield marks, and break down exactly what the Cambridge examiners are looking for. Let's get you cleared for a safe landing. Right out of the gate, we need to initialize our radar grids with an incredible insider secret pulled directly from the principal examiner reports. You might assume that Passage 1 is strictly an isolated exercise in memorizing grammar rules and vocab flashcards, but it's actually about structural integration. The examiners explicitly note that candidates referencing cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. This is where Router Alex and Router Sam fundamentally fail. Alex looks at a single blip on the radar, a single Arabic word, and treats it like it exists in a vacuum. Sam tries to force words together without understanding how the atmospheric conditions of the whole text change their meaning. The examiners want to see that you can integrate your knowledge across different syllabus areas. Recognizing a vocabulary word is just the start. Understanding how that word conceptually connects to the broader synthotic airspace of the passage is your actual ticket to those top marks. It's never just about what you know. It's about how you sequence and connect what you know under pressure. Here is our flight path for today's explainer. 1. The Passage 1 challenge. 2. Core objectives. 3. The procedural framework. 4. The method mark strategy. And 5. Top examiner traps. Let's dive right into the storm. Section 1. The Passage 1 challenge. Evaluating evidence. So why is this specific paper such a universal source of anxiety? Let's listen in on our simulation. Imagine Router Alex and Router Sam at their consoles sweating over a complex Arabic text. Alex shouts, "Director, I know exactly what this specific noun translates to. I'm just going to write it down." And Sam yells back, "Forget the context. Just throw the literal translation into the paragraph so we can land this thing and move on." And this is where I, as the tower director, have to step in and hit the massive red abort button. Abort, examiners are absolutely not just testing basic, superficial translation. Grammatical manipulation is a complex task requiring logical, structured reasoning. Cambridge explicitly prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. Think of superficial breadth as knowing the names of all the dials in the cockpit, but analytical depth is actually knowing how to fly the plane. You have to process precise definitions and understand the causal relationships between the words. You are structurally manipulating the Arabic language. If you just skim the surface and provide rigid, memorized definitions without analyzing how the grammar functions in that specific sentence, your argument is going to crash on the runway. Section 2. Decoding core assessment objectives. Let's route our approach vector. Let's map out our approach layout based on the explicit assessment objectives that Cambridge demands. This is where the tension at the radar consoles really spikes, because you have to hit 3 distinct cognitive domains simultaneously. First, knowledge and understanding. This is your baseline radar detection. Can you spot the grammatical structure and comprehend its basic meaning? Second, analysis. This is determining the speed and trajectory of the aircraft. How is this vocabulary word functioning within the specific syntax of the sentence? What happens to the meaning if we manipulate it? And third, evaluation. This is issuing the final clearance to land. It's your ability to draw valid conclusions based on the evidence in the text. Top-performing candidates don't just master one of these, they master all 3. They demonstrate a conceptual flexibility that allows them to transfer their skills to entirely unfamiliar exam contexts. When they encounter a bizarre grammatical structure they've never seen before, an unexpected weather anomaly on the radar, they don't panic like Alex or rush like Sam. They rely on these 3 cognitive domains to safely navigate the problem. Moving right along to Section 3. the procedural framework. Tower transmission check. Before we clear this next response for touchdown and get into the procedural framework, we need to ensure your transponder is fully updated. Subscribe to Ace the Exams at the handle @AceTheExams right now, and make sure you turn on all notifications so you never miss an emergency broadcast. Okay, resuming the simulation. To achieve those elite academic benchmarks, you have to completely abandon arbitrary guessing. You need a standardized procedural framework, a strict sequence of operations for every single paragraph you write. Step 1, identify the key elements. Spot the grammatical subject, the root words, the core vocabulary. Step 2, apply the relevant principles. What Arabic grammar rules govern the specific structure? Step 3, execute your analysis. Manipulate the text as requested while showing your clear systematic working. Step 4, verify your results. Does the manipulated sentence still make logical sense within the passage? Step 5, present in format. Ensure your final answer matches Cambridge's strict presentation conventions. Lock this 5-step sequence into your brain. It is the ultimate step-by-step glide slope for data interpretation and grammatical manipulation. Let's zoom in on what happens when you encounter an unexpected structural block mid-paragraph. You're executing your analysis, and suddenly the grammar rule isn't fitting perfectly. Router Alex is panicking, starting the sentence over for the 5th time, burning precious time. Router Sam is just guessing and trying to force the sentence closed. When you hit this block, you need to deploy the deconstruct, solve, evaluate model to get your sentence back onto the glide slope. And the best way to do this is by thinking about the Peel formatting template. Point, evidence, explanation, link. First, deconstruct. Break the Arabic sentence down into logical steps. What is your point, and what textual evidence are you dealing with? Second, solve. This is your explanation. Apply your systematic working to the grammatical manipulation. Don't do it all in your head, map it out logically. Third, evaluate. This is your link. Look at your manipulated sentence and justify your recommendations. Does it accurately reflect the original passage? Top-scoring candidates use this exact model to question their own assumptions. They constantly evaluate their work, backing up their grammatical conclusions with hard textual evidence, ensuring structural integrity every step of the way. Section 4. The method marks strategy. This is an absolute game changer. Warning lights are flashing amber across the control board. Extreme time pressure has just hit the exam room. You have 10 minutes left and you still have complex manipulations to complete. This is where we implement what I call the fuel to mark budget formula. Here is a massive examiner alert straight from the source material. Marks are awarded for process. I cannot stress this enough. So many students sit there staring blankly at a difficult Arabic passage, paralyzed because they don't know the exact final answer. They are literally burning fuel while hovering in an infinite holding pattern. Listen to me. Even if your final grammatical answer or vocabulary translation is completely wrong, Cambridge examiners will award you points simply for showing clear, logical working. They want to see your analytical process. If you show them the steps you took to deconstruct the sentence and apply the rules, you are earning marks. The process itself has immense value, and it acts as an incredible safety net when you are low on time and high on stress. Let's do an interactive runway workshop right now. I'm putting a 60-second visual timer on the clock. In our simulation, imagine you are staring at a highly complex text data map or convoluted Arabic sentence structure, and you need to isolate the primary grammatical variable. If you operate like Router Sam, you'll scribble down the final answer only and sprint to the next question. But as you can see, providing only the final answer is a terrifying gamble. If you make one tiny error in syntax, one mistaken vowel, you risk losing absolutely all the marks for that question. Your plane just crashed. On the other hand, look at the alternative. Clear working shown. By systematically writing out the intermediate steps of your manipulation, you secure those process marks. Mapping out your systematic process isn't just about making your paper look neat and tidy for the examiner. It is a critical structural insurance policy for your final score. Always, always show the tower how your brain navigated the airspace to arrive at the conclusion. Section 5. Top examiner traps. Let's initiate our final drill, debris on the runway. We are going to dig directly into the principal examiner reports to find the exact lines and mistakes that consistently violate safety regulations and cost students their A-level grades. Here are the top 3 examiner traps you must avoid. Trap number 1, using the wrong approach for the context. You cannot apply a rigid, generic grammar rule if the specific Arabic text demands a nuanced metaphorical interpretation. That's landing on the wrong runway entirely. Trap number 2, forgetting to check format. We will talk more about this in a second, but formatting is non-negotiable. Trap number 3, providing answers that lack specific context. This is the most common debris on the runway. If your answer relies solely on generic vocabulary recall, giving a dictionary definition without explaining how it actually functions within the specific scenario of passage 1, you will drop heavy points. Your analytical answers must be intensely specific to the exact passage sitting in front of you. Let's expand on that second trap, because this is the final phase, safe touchdown. Passage 1 is specifically designed to develop professional, high-level linguistic skills. Because of this, you are strictly required to adhere to Cambridge's presentation conventions. Look at our flight crew, Alex and Sam. They finally have the right answer, but if they transmit it on the wrong frequency, it doesn't matter. You must use proper headings. You must employ the correct formal linguistic terminology in your explanations, no slang, no vague descriptions. You must utilize appropriate formats and provide clear, legible annotations. Examiners are looking for absolute precision. Following these strict presentation conventions isn't just about being a perfectionist. It is mathematically required to secure those final evaluative marks. If your process is brilliant, but your presentation is a mess, you are leaving high-yield marks on the table. So as we power down the radar grid and conclude our ATC simulation, I want you to remember the Fuel to Mark budget formula. Manage your time, integrate your syllabus knowledge, deploy your PEAL formatting, and always show your process. Ask yourself this final provocative question before you walk into that high-pressure examination room. After all this intense preparation, will you let a simple formatting error or a failure to show your logical working cost you your Cambridge A-level? Take the structural frameworks we built today and apply them relentlessly to your past paper practice. Be the tower director of your own exam. And before you go, here's your final clearance. Subscribe to Ace the Exams at the handle @AceTheExams. Enable that notification bell and leave a comment down below sharing exactly which exam paper gives you the most anxiety. We read every single one. Keep practicing, stay structured, and I guarantee you'll master passage 1. See you next time.